Hello and welcome back to the Libra TMR series. So what we're going to do in this set of videos is we'll go over some of the little features that we didn't talk about. So we talked about primarily the main functions of how the app works. Now we're going to discuss transactions, mixers, device, settings, and then the final settings on the back. So if you take a look at those, as far as going to the More tab, you'll see Operators, Help, and About. So one nice thing that's actually built into the app is the Help menu. So you can tap on the row, and then it will give you the initial setup guide, and then the app guide. We'll go a little bit further as far as it will explain a lot of the stuff that we've gone over. So if you like to read to get your information, that would be a good way to do it. Otherwise, if you'd like to see a more hands-on approach as far as going through the demonstrations with the videos and then trying it out yourself on your iPad, that usually goes over well. So that information is there if you ever need it. Let's first take a look at the Transactions tab. So down at the very bottom, we'll push on the Transactions. We've gone over this in a previous video a little bit. We didn't get into too much detail. But if you look here, it has the feedings that were highlighted, and as you can see, the date and then the time. It breaks it down to the ration number and then each of the individual ingredient or pens of what they were fed. And then you can go, so if you go over the batches, that will actually have the breakdown by ingredient. So right now, if we look at the feedings, we can go through and look at all of our pens for a series of feedings throughout that entire period. If we want to enlarge that, we can certainly do so or go back. If we want to look at the batches now, you'll see the date and the time listed, and then we'll get a batch summary. So we'll have the overall breakdown with a list of each one of our target ingredients. So if I scroll up and go to my more recent feeding or batching, you can see the information there as far as ration and then each one of the ingredients listed. So this is basically how you would view the information. If you want to take the information and then email it out, what you do is go to the Pens tab, and then in the Transmit button, which is the arrow pointing up through the box, push on that. Select the date range. So if I want to widen the date range, I can do so. And then after I made my selection, I'll push done. And then an email is set up. The information is provided as fed. So if I had it selected as fed, it'll break that down. If I did the dry matter intake and wanted to have the information viewable that way, if I went through and actively, and I'll connect the dots on this in another video, as far as if I had the dry matter intake set up to where I was actually putting in the percentages, it would display that information that I physically go through and actually change myself to set up. So if I went through and put my email in here, and then if I push send, that information will be automatically sent off to my email. Once you access your email, whether it be through Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo, for example, you can go through and look at your transaction summary. It's collected in the CSV format, so this makes it very accessible to other softwares to take that information and work in conjunction with an accounting component. So if you go through and click on your fed CSV file, because in the examples we first did a simulation with as fed. You can also do, and we'll show you this in a later video, how you can work with the dry matter intake with the CSV file and how that would look. So once your report is compiled, it consists of a timestamp, which is date, and then time, ration number, pen number, head count, feed adjustment percentage, amount of each ingredient. So for example, the overall amount, and then it will break down by the amount that was fed of each individual. So if it's alfalfa hay, beet pulp, corn silage, like in our example, it'll show each weight for each category. So with this information, once again, you can take the CSV file and you can actually feed it into a software program very easily. There'll be a cloud component that this information will automatically go to, whether that would be if you have the data plan, or if you don't want to have the data plan and just want to send it out when you can tether with your cell phone, or if you want to do it via Wi-Fi, that works just fine. But this information can be compiled into an accounting piece of software to give you that vital information for closeouts. One other thing that you can do with the rations tab, so in the pens tab we went through and emailed the transactions out for that portion, but now we're going to go ahead and move forward and actually have a report made up for the rations, so we'll transmit that information. So from the rations tab, which I'm already on, push from the transmit button, enter in the email of your choice, and you'll see on the heading it says ration summary attached in CSV format. So let's pretend I put my email address in there, send it out, let's say, and then as you view the email, you double click on the CSV file, and then it'll actually show you a breakdown of each one of your rations and then also your ingredients with a percentage. So for example, if we look at like the last two rations that I was working with, ration number 9 has the pounds per head, and if I had a mix time in there, that would be filled out, and then it has the percentage of alfalfa hay, and then beet pulp, the percentage there, and then it has the corn silage percentage. So that's going to make up the 100% of the entire ration. So if you look at some of these other ones, you can see the percentage listed there with the specific ingredient listed. So this is part of the information that can also coincide with the accounting component as far as relating to inventory. So in the next video, we'll go over some more things pertaining to kind of the back end of the app and some of the other neat features. So we'll pick up from there, and thank you for watching.